All right, guys, listen up. You've probably been told your whole life that you gotta be loud, you gotta be seen, you gotta share every single step of your journey, right? But what if that's totally backwards? What if the real path to strength, to actual undeniable results, is found in the one place most people avoid? Let's dive in. Here are 3 questions that might just challenge everything you thought you knew about success and strength. Is constantly telling everyone your goals actually stopping you from achieving them? Does needing applause or recognition mean you're building your life on shaky ground? What if hiding your progress isn't about fear, but about building unstoppable inner power? Seriously, think about that for a second. We live in a world that screams, "Show me," constantly. But what if the quiet approach, the silent push, is where the real magic happens? That's exactly what we're going to break down today, pulling some serious wisdom from a philosophy that's been around for over 2,000 years. Stoicism. This isn't just some old dusty book stuff. It's a powerful way to build discipline, emotional control, and real strength from the inside out. This message is for anyone fighting those silent battles, feeling tired, questioning themselves, or feeling totally invisible. If you're pushing hard every day, waking up early, fighting off laziness, self-doubt, disappointment, and there's no recognition, no applause, just you wondering, is this even worth it? The answer is a massive yes, but you gotta understand why. Real strength doesn't make noise. The strongest people aren't the loudest. They're the ones who push their limits quietly. Here's the deal, broken down into some core ideas. Silence keeps you focused. Okay, picture this. You get super hyped about a new goal, right? Maybe you want to wake up at 5 a.m., hit the gym, learn a new skill, whatever it is. What's the first thing many people do? They announce it. They tell all their friends, post it on social media, make it this big public declaration like a contract. And maybe the first week goes great, but then, poof, it just vanishes. A month later, nobody talks about it, and guess what? You feel like a failure. Not because you couldn't do it, but because you spoke too soon, too loudly, with too much certainty. This is what Stoicism calls a trap of the ego. We mistake talking about action for actually doing the action. When your mind gets in front of an audience, it easily gets pulled off course. Every time you share your goal, it's like creating a detour. Compliments become rest stops, doubts become stones in your path. You tell people you're learning to be an investor, and you trick your brain into feeling like you already are one. You stop becoming. You've arrived prematurely in your own head. Studies like one by Peter Gwitzer at NYU actually back this up. Publicly announcing your goals makes you less likely to achieve them. Why? Because your brain gets an early hit of dopamine just from talking about it. 0 effort required. Imagine you're building a house. If you run out and tell everyone every single time you lay one brick, you're never going to finish the foundation, much less the house. But if you just keep laying bricks day after day, quietly, consistently, one morning you'll step out onto your porch, and the house itself will be the only statement you need. Think about working out or eating healthier. Day 1, post it on your story. A week later, more mirror selfies. But is anything actually changing? Often, the mind is too busy living in the eyes of others instead of putting in the real effort. So here's a challenge from the source. 4. The first 30 days of working towards a goal, make a new rule. No posts, no sharing, no showing off. Just record it for yourself. Get a small notebook, write it down by hand every day. Did it. 1 line. No explanation, no proof needed for anyone but you. Ask yourself honestly, are you living for real results? Or just for the appearance of trying? Are you taking real action, or just replaying the idea of action to make yourself feel better? When you answer those questions, the truth becomes crystal clear. Silence is a shield against distraction. It keeps your energy focused exactly where it needs to be, instead of letting it scatter into the crowd. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor, basically said, "Don't waste your life speculating about others unless it's for mutual benefit." But on a deeper level, this means don't waste your life performing, explaining, or seeking approval unless it truly adds value. Speak less, act more, explain less, understand more. Before your day starts, write down just one thing you'll do for your goal and tell no one. At the end of the day, just ask, did I do it? If not, it's okay. Tomorrow's a new chance. But keep quiet about it. This tiny habit can seriously lock your lips and unlock your will. No grand gestures needed, just steady, silent resolve. Yeah, you might feel lonely. No applause, nobody knows how hard you're working. But that loneliness, that's the fire that forges your will. Can you keep going when literally nobody is watching? Do you want the result itself or just the recognition for trying? Once you get the power of staying silent, you realize something profound. You don't need anyone else to validate your path. The only thing that matters is doing the work. No need for recognition. Here's a truth many people don't want to admit. A lot of us don't do things just to get them done. We do them to get praised. We clean the house and hang around waiting for a thank you. We help someone and secretly hope they'll give us a shout out. We try to learn a new skill but bail when no one says, "Wow, you're amazing." It's not laziness or lack of willpower. We're just not wired to keep going without being seen. No audience, motivation drops. But if you want to go the distance, you have to keep moving even when no one's watching. Recognition is like refined sugar. It feels sweet and it's addictive, but it gives you zero real nourishment. Getting praised feels good in the moment, but then you start chasing that feeling. You begin doing things for reactions instead of genuine reasons. You stop writing because you love words and start writing for likes. You stop learning out of curiosity and start learning to stack up certificates to show off. Little by little, you become a performer, only on when there's someone watching. Think about legends like Amelia Earhart, first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic. Did she hype herself up? Make a huge spectacle? Nah, she just flew. And that quiet, unannounced act etched her name into history. Or Grigory Perelman, Russian mathematician, solved one of the toughest problems of the century. The world offered him everything: awards, money, fame. He turned it all down. Why? Because he wasn't in it for the recognition. The truth of the problem mattered to him. People like that don't need the spotlight. They are the light. So how many things have you given up on just because nobody noticed? How many goals are on hold because there wasn't a cheering section? If your motivation relies on others, you've basically handed over the steering wheel of your life. You gotta learn to pedal even when there's zero clapping. Yeah, doing stuff without praise can feel boring. But check it out. The most valuable transformations often happen in silence. Roots growing underground, water shaping stone, drop by slow drop. Mastery developing quietly behind the scenes. Real transformation doesn't need a stage. Marcus Aurelius nailed it. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one. Don't explain it, don't perform it, just live it. Here's a simple thing you can do. Every time you finish anything, a chapter of a book, a gym session, working through a tough problem, don't post it, don't tell anyone. Just sit down and write one sentence to yourself. I did it. That's it. This small act is like laying a brick in your own inner wall. Do it enough, and you build a fortress that's invisible to others but unshakable within you. The quiet ones. They often have the strongest momentum. No noise, no complaints, no flashiness. But when they step up, everyone pays attention. Their silence is their edge. When you don't need validation anymore, you become untouchable, not driven by the crowd's applause, but grounded in your own purpose. Progress is private. There's a kind of progress you just can't capture in a selfie. You can't write a witty caption for it, can't slap a hashtag on it. It happens when you manage to stay calm even when someone insults you. It happens when you put your phone down and give someone you love your full attention for 15 minutes. It happens when you're boiling mad inside, but you still manage to speak gently. No applause, no likes, no medals. But these are real victories, and they almost always happen in silence. Have you noticed this cycle? Start something new, working out, eating better, learning a skill. First impulse, tell someone, post something, snap a photo. It's like we can't even begin a journey unless someone else witnesses it. Like it doesn't actually count unless it's seen. But the real truth? What you keep to yourself is what truly becomes yours. A seed grows quietly, underground. If you dig it up every single day just to show people it's there, it's never going to take root. Let me share a story the source tells. Michael, 38, was an Uber driver. Pandemic hit, lost almost all his income. No college degree, no side hustle. One day, after giving a ride to a software engineer, he got curious about coding. Here's the key. Michael didn't tell anyone. He hit up YouTube tutorials, grabbed free books, practiced on an old laptop, drove in the mornings, studied in the evenings, built mock projects on weekends. He posted nothing. No new journey announcements, no complaints. Almost a year later, he applied to a small startup and landed a junior developer job. The pay wasn't huge, but it tripled his old income. Everyone was shocked. They asked why he never said anything. Michael just smiled and said, "Because I needed to learn, not perform." You can be Michael, but it requires giving up the need to be seen. It's a total paradox. The more you crave recognition, the less energy you have to actually get good. The more you talk about your goals, the more you drain the drive to actually chase them. Silence isn't hiding, it's preserving your energy for what truly matters. Imagine pushing a car uphill. Every time you stop to check who's watching, you stop pushing, and you stay stuck. But if you just keep your head down and push, one day you'll be at the top. And when you look back, it won't be anyone else saying, "You did it." It'll be you. It's like that line from the Bible. But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Do what's right, not to be noticed, but to become the person you know you're meant to be. Now, maybe you're thinking, okay, I get it, but it still feels kinda empty when no one sees how hard I'm working. That's a totally honest question, and honestly, it's a good sign you're on the right track. That emptiness? It's not a flaw. It's the open space you need to grow, untouched by other people's expectations. And here's the beautiful part. Once you master persisting quietly, something surprising happens. People start noticing, not because you told them, but because you changed. They'll ask. They'll be curious. And when they do, you can just smile and say, "I just did what I had to do." No fanfare, no show, just the simple truth that carries real weight. Still feel like complaining nobody noticed? Pause. Complaining won't move you forward. No complaints, just action. Some people wake up and groan, another day. By noon, they're grumbling about lunch options. Stuck in traffic? They snap, "Why can't this city ever get better?" At night, they sigh, "I'm so tired of this. What kind of life is this?" Day after day, they're trapped in a loop, not of actions, but of complaints. What's the real issue? Often, it's not that their life is truly terrible. It's that they've poured all their energy into complaining, like pouring water on fake grass hoping it grows. Complaining is an addictive reflex, like scratching an itch. Feels good for a sec. But constant scratching turns a small wound into a sore, and constant complaining eats away at your spirit. Have you noticed? People who complain a lot rarely take action. They use words instead of solutions. And weirdly, the more they complain, the bigger their problems seem, like their words are inflating them every day. The source gives an example. Someone complaining an elevator was taking forever, after less than 20 seconds. If they'd just taken a deep breath, stretched, or been still, they might have felt better. Instead, autopilot complaint. How often do we do that? Cursing traffic, moaning about a slow computer, muttering about the heat. Do those complaints change anything? Stoicism teaches a clear lesson. If something is outside your control, do not let it control you. Complaining in traffic is like honking your horn nonstop. The horn gets louder, but the car doesn't move. You irritate everyone, and you're the one left exhausted. So why not drop the horn? Adjust your mirrors, check your map, listen to a song. Every moment of frustration is a signal that you're facing something beyond your control. And in those moments, you have two choices: waste energy fighting it, or shift your focus to what you can do. Think back to the last time you complained about work. Did anything change? Did your boss get nicer? Deadline extend? Or did you just feel more powerless? It's uncomfortable, but necessary. It opens another door. Instead of complaining, describe the issue neutrally, then take a specific step forward. Instead of, I hate this task, try, how can I finish this faster? Or what skill do I need so this stops being hard? Pause right now. How many times did you complain in the last 24 hours? How many were about things you couldn't change? That number isn't just about your mood. It's measuring how much mental energy you just wasted. Every complaint is energy you didn't spend living. You spent it whining. Strong people aren't those who never get tired. They're the ones who stay silent and keep going. No complaints, no need to be seen. Just them and the path ahead. Their silence isn't weakness. It's a choice to stop being a victim. A decision that says, I'm moving forward. No need to talk, just act. 5. Control what you can. You wake up, check your phone, and bam, people on vacation, launching companies, showing off amazing bodies. Meanwhile, you're just making coffee. Day hasn't even started, and you already feel defeated. Why? Because you're trying to control someone else's game instead of playing your own. That's why you're exhausted and going nowhere. Stoic philosophy gives us some super practical, blunt advice. Only worry about what's within your control. Not because it's some moral high ground, but because it's the only way to live without suffering. Look around. How many things stressing you out aren't even your fault? Boss's last-minute deadline? Client changing their mind? Rain when you needed sun? You can't control those things, but you can control how you respond. The source tells about a friend who moped for a week because his ex posted a photo with someone new. He stopped eating, quit working out, zombie walked through work. The simple question, can you control who she loves? No. So why let her choices hijack your emotions? You get stuck in traffic. One driver is screaming, another is calmly listening to music. Same traffic, completely different inner worlds. The Stoics aren't telling you to be emotionless. They're telling you to be smart about where you put your attention. You can't move the clouds, but you can grab an umbrella. Epictetus said, freedom is the only worthy goal. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Freedom isn't the absence of difficulty, it's refusing to be led by it. So tomorrow morning, instead of scrolling other people's lives for 30 minutes, spend that time writing down 3 things you will do today, things nobody else controls. Drink enough water, finish 1 page of your plan, exercise for 15 minutes. Small things, but they're yours. When you do them, you feel powerful because you're steering your ship, not just drifting. Thomas Edison lost his whole lab to a fire. His son rushed over. Edison's response? Go get your mother and all her friends. They'll never see a fire like this again. He lost almost all his research, but instead of mourning, he rebuilt. He knew he couldn't control the fire, but he could control his resolve. When you focus only on what's yours, something cool happens. You feel lighter, clearer, more effective, because you're not burning energy on battles that aren't yours to fight, like a rower who knows they can't control the river so they focus on mastering their oars. Try it today. Every time you feel tension, pause for 5 seconds and ask, is this within my control? If not, let it go. If it is, act. Be honest. How much daily energy are you spending on things you can't control? If you want to change, start small. Own the smallest things. Quietly, steadily, repeatedly. But watch out. The sneakiest trap is glancing at someone else and asking, why am I not there yet? That question pulls you right off your path, which brings us to the next point. 6. No comparison, just growth, man. We live in the age of comparison. It's everywhere. Looks, career, even how many steps you took today. One scroll and you're bombarded with people who look more successful, more disciplined, happier. But if your mind feels unsettled, maybe the problem isn't you. Maybe you're just looking in the wrong place. Are you living your own life, or racing in a competition you never even signed up for? Stoicism isn't about stopping striving. It's about growing without needing to prove anything. It's about pursuing progress without measuring it against everyone else. Because comparison is a distorted mirror. It doesn't show you the truth. It warps your worth to fit someone else's standards. Let's remember a story from the source to make this crystal clear. Paul was just a regular chef in New York. Not rich, not famous. But he had a quiet passion: sourdough bread. While his friends were opening restaurants and getting blog features, Paul spent 3 years obsessed with fermentation, dough, oven temps. People laughed. Some said he was playing artisan in a world of machines. Paul, he didn't argue. He just kept going. Then one day, a post went viral. The best sourdough bread in Brooklyn. Picture of a perfect loaf, crispy crust, soft inside. The baker? Paul, the same guy quietly testing batches at 3 a.m. He didn't run faster than anyone else. He just stayed on his path and kept moving. Paul's story isn't just to inspire you. It's a reality check to the illusion that you need to know how far behind you are to get ahead. No. To grow, you only need to know where you were yesterday and take one step forward today. That is it. Next time you feel that comparison spiral, do this. Put your finger on your chest and quietly ask yourself, whose life am I living today? If the answer isn't mine, you know exactly what to do. Pull your focus back from the outside world and return home. Here's a quick win to break the comparison loop. Every time you're about to scroll through social media to see what everyone else is up to, pause for 10 seconds. Not to meditate, just to ask, is this helping me live better? If the answer is no, put the phone down. Drink some water, read a page, write a thought down. Do something that belongs to you. When you choose to act instead of getting distracted, you're already winning. No outside validation needed. Another tool, a progress log. Each night, don't write, what did I do better than others? Ask, how was I better than I was yesterday? Maybe you squeezed in 10 minutes of exercise, read an extra page, or just managed to bite your tongue when you wanted to lash out. These are quiet wins. They don't get likes, but they build the strength that really matters. Because when you stop being pulled by all the noise out there, you start hearing your own voice more clearly. A calm voice. Not rushed, not loud, not performing. Just you. Your real self. With nothing to prove. Remember this. Real results speak for themselves. Not with noise, but with undeniable change. And when you stop comparing, you start seeing your own progress clearly. Your emotions aren't dragged down by someone else's highlight reel. That's when you're ready for the next lesson. Master, don't show. Emotions. I remember sitting in a coffee shop once, and a couple at the next table was having a seriously heated argument. Tears were flowing. The guy slammed his hand down so hard people jumped. They didn't care who was watching. They were just focused on winning the fight. And I just thought, who's in control here? Are they steering their emotions or are their emotions steering them? In our world, people often confuse expressing everything with being authentic. They think being real means unloading every single thought and feeling. But living authentically isn't about dumping everything out. It's about knowing what you're thinking, understanding what you're feeling, and choosing how to express it. It's like having a speaker. Blasting it at full volume doesn't make the music better. Sometimes turning it down makes people listen more closely. Emotional control isn't suppression. It's knowing when and how to respond. A boss who's ruled by emotion might yell at staff, then apologize later. A parent who constantly expresses feelings might cry at the dinner table because a child is eating slowly. Those reactions aren't necessarily wrong, but they mean you've surrendered control of the situation. The Stoics weren't ruled by circumstances. They observed them. They responded with intention. That's how they stayed in command. Epictetus wrote, "Keep your attention focused entirely on what is truly your own concern, and be clear that what belongs to others is their business and none of yours." Other people's emotions? Their business? Life's crazy chaos? Just part of the world. But your emotions? Your reactions? That's your domain. If you don't guard the gate to your emotions, who will? Think about a city bus driver during rush hour. Traffic jams, grumpy passengers, constant noise. If he let every complaint or glare get to him, he wouldn't make it far before breaking down. But no, he drives steady, quiet. Just because others are angry doesn't mean he has to be. Just because someone's rude doesn't mean he has to stoop to their level. That's Stoic, staying centered, staying on course. Here's the wild truth. The more someone constantly shows their emotions, the more vulnerable they often become. When you show someone what makes you angry, you hand them that power. When your sadness is plain for everyone to see, you expose a weakness. But when you hold back, not to hide, but to observe, understand, and master it, you become untouchable. People think venting brings relief. But how many times have you yelled in anger and just felt ashamed afterward? Emotions aren't gas to be released. They're something valuable, wrapped carefully, needing to be opened slowly, like a precious gift. There's a line in the Bible that hits hard. Even fools are thought-wise if they keep silent, and discerning if they hold their tongues. You don't always need to respond. Sometimes silence is your greatest strength. Want to practice this? Start with one super simple habit. Delay your reaction by 3 seconds. When someone irritates you, pause before you speak. In those 3 seconds, ask, is this worth losing my calm over? 9 times out of 10? The answer's no. And then you just move on. Still in control, still behind the wheel. Staying calm when life is easy. No challenge. Staying calm when you're insulted, misunderstood, or cornered. That's real mastery. Let calm become your personal trademark. No applause needed. No one has to notice. But you'll know, and you'll be proud. Is a distorted mirror. It doesn't show you the truth. It warps your worth to fit someone else's standards. Let's remember a story from the source to make this crystal clear. Paul was just a regular chef in New York. Not rich, not famous, but he had a quiet passion. Sourdough bread. While his friends were opening restaurants and getting blog features, Paul spent 3 years obsessed with fermentation, dough, oven temps. People laughed. Some said he was playing artisan in a world of machines. Paul, he didn't argue. He just kept going. Then one day, a post went viral. The best sourdough bread in Brooklyn. Picture of a perfect loaf, crispy crust, soft inside. The baker? Paul. The same guy quietly testing batches at 3 a.m. He didn't run faster than anyone else. He just stayed on his path and kept moving. Paul's story isn't just to inspire you. It's a reality check to the illusion that you need to know how far behind you are to get ahead. No. To grow, you only need to know where you were yesterday and take one step forward today. That is IT 8. Let results talk. You know that person who walks into a room and doesn't have to make a sound. They don't talk much, but you just know they get stuff done. It's not because they brag. It's because their results speak for themselves. Like a tree that never brags, but when harvest season comes, the fruit is so undeniable, everyone has to look up. In a world obsessed with showing the process, posting after reading a few pages, filming after 3 days at the gym, choosing silence and just getting the work done is radical, it's powerful. Stoic philosophy is clear. Noise doesn't build outcomes. Epictetus put it like this: don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Live in a way that your actions are the proof of what you believe. Someone doing that doesn't need to say a word. Their results do the talking. Are you living like that? Or are you using words to cover up a lack of action? Life shows us endless examples. A skilled builder isn't the one lecturing about technique. He's the one whose wall stands straight. A devoted mother doesn't need praise. Her warm meal, clean clothes, and child's peaceful sleep say it all. The problem is, most of us crave attention, approval, recognition before we've actually created anything worthy of it. We want applause before we've earned it. And that is exactly where energy gets wasted on stuff that creates zero value. Have you ever tried working in total silence for 6 months? No complaints, no updates, no explanations. Just doing the work. Try it. Then look back and see what changed. It's shocking. When you stop chasing validation, your focus gets laser sharp. When you stop wasting energy explaining yourself, you can pour it all into finishing what matters. Like an arrow, silent, but incredibly precise. This ain't easy, though. Our world is built on showing off. Social media turns every small action into a performance. Every tiny step screams to be shared, to go viral, to get liked. But if you want true strength, you gotta build the habit of working in silence. Learn to create without needing to be seen. Look at Nikola Tesla, one of the greatest minds ever, worked in near total solitude. Few knew his name while he was alive. But today, the world literally cannot function without his inventions. He didn't need a stage. His results earned him his place in history. Ask yourself honestly, are you working to build something real or just working to be seen as hardworking? When you let go of the need to be noticed, that's when you truly start to see yourself. Take a pause right now. You've read this far. Turn off your phone. Look around. If you worked in silence for 90 days, what part of your life would be transformed? If you talk about plans but rarely follow through, don't beat yourself up. Just start small. Pick one thing, language, writing, fitness, and set one rule. Don't tell anyone until the results are visible. Nobody needs to know what you're doing. Behind the scenes, but when you're ready, the world will notice, like a blade forged in fire, quiet, unseen. But in battle, one strike commands respect. Do you want to be remembered for your words or the weight of your achievements? Choose. If you choose results, then from today, work in silence. Don't show off the seed. Nurture it. When the time is right, your tree will bloom. Everyone will see. No need to explain. No need to shout. The outcome will say it all. We've covered some powerful stuff here. Not just empty slogans, but guiding principles for choosing the quiet path to growth. Each point is a reminder. Act, don't show off. Persist, don't complain. Focus on what's in your control. And let the results do the talking. You don't need to force yourself to be inspirational. Just live true to your values. That alone is inspiring. The world is already loud enough. What it really needs are the calm, steady ones. The people who don't say much, but when they move, everyone notices. You don't have to shout that you're changing, just start today. Live quieter, focus deeper, and take charge of yourself. The long road isn't for the noisy, it's for those who endure in silence. If this resonated with you, if it shifted something, hit that like button. Not for me, for you. As a promise. From now on, I won't react out of habit but out of choice. That's real freedom. And if you're ready to keep exploring how to live with depth, reason, and quiet strength, make sure you subscribe. The road ahead ain't always easy, but you definitely won't be walking it alone.